Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. I am so excited today because I'm going to be reviewing a new favorite sci-fi story that I read. And it was one written by a friend of mine who provided me with a advanced reading copy, otherwise known as an ARC. I'll probably just refer to it as that from now on. But this is a sci-fi story by the name of Lethal Circuit, written by Collin Masteller of Stellar Reads, and also of the rock band Sleepcycle, which I've been listening to here and there during my walks, and I'm really enjoying it. There's a really cool tie-in rock song with this, so I'll make sure to link that below in the description. But oh my gosh, this was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I was really, really happy to have been part of the campaign to sort of do a advanced reading copy. Because I know he sent this to a few people, and he even signed it on the bottom and wished me happy birthday. And today's my birthday, actually, when I'm reviewing this, October 2nd. So I'm really excited to be doing this review, and I'm really happy to do so because I really enjoyed this novel, and it's really bingeable. It's quite a page turner. The story is all about a pilot by the name of Jack, who is part of the anti-grav racing circuit, which is a very dangerous sport in this world. This is a world where we are centuries ahead of our time on Earth because it's based on our world and universe. So you have all the planets that we know, Earth, Jupiter, Mars, and stuff like that. And also far settings, far planets that we go to. And I really enjoyed all of the settings that Collin wrote about in this book. I was really struck by the storyline as well because usually when I read sci-fi, it's the world building that I sort of stick to and am invested in the most. And in this book, I was really invested in the story for the first time in a long time. I was talking about in my weekly review, but there's a really interesting series called The Expanse that I'm reading. I'm on book 7. I'm almost done with it. And my issue with that book is that I love the world building and I love the characters, but the story I just am not invested in anymore. And Collin, the way that he wrote the story in this, he has a really fantastic story going on where we have Jack, who is sort of a bit of a bad guy, and he has this encounter with an alien species that tells him of this prophecy that if he doesn't keep racing, then he's going to destroy the entire universe. And I really love that. It kind of gave me like sort of apocalyptic vibes, sort of like Book of the New Sun, which I know he's a huge fan of because we've talked about it many times. But so I really love that, and it also reminded me a little bit of sort of like Dune as well, even though, as you know, if you've seen or sort of discussion that we had on Dune, he just read Dune, so he hadn't read that book while he was writing this, but you definitely get, even, it sort of speaks to how influential that Dune is, that even though he did not read this, there were aspects where it was bubbling up, and I was like, that is really interesting how like these elements were coming in, even though he hadn't read it yet. And it was so fun to talk about Dune with him because he has written sci-fi. And so I knew going in that he was a huge sci-fi fan, and that pours through the pages in this story. There's so many great characters that you find in a lot of sci-fi stories. I really enjoyed the characters in this one. Everyone I had investment in. I would say the romances were a little bit harder for me to get invested in, but I'm also not much of a romance reader. So I'm usually sort of the guy who's like, okay, like get those scenes over with. But I was feeling like I wanted more romance in this because what we had was really good. And I feel like the pacing in the second half went a little too fast. But at the end of the day, the story that was being told, I really enjoyed. So even though it was like a blink and you'll miss it type of pacing, I mean, I didn't blink and I didn't miss any of it. So I was really enjoying it. I was taking my time reading this, but I ended up finishing it in 2 days. So it's definitely a page turner. This is a really, really fun book. I'm keeping it non-spoilers. I don't want to get into spoilers until I talk to him on my channel and interview him. But this was just such a fun book to read. For anyone who's a fan of The Expanse, I think you'll really enjoy this book because there's just so much great elements in this. I love the world building. I love the descriptions that he has when he's writing the anti-grav racing scenes. I really enjoyed those scenes, and I'm not a racing guy at all. I think the only race media that I enjoy is Death Race, which is mostly the one with Jason Statham. I love that movie. But the original one is great as well. And it has a little bit of Mad Max as well in terms of the danger that there is with the races. Because that was my favorite part, was just how dangerous this world is. Because even though space travel has been mastered and all that, there's so much danger to it. And it's really interesting reading those scenes because any wrong move and our characters could die. And there's a really great mantra that the character Jack has where he is saying, like, I control the ship. I control the ship. And he says that multiple times, and for the about second half of the story, maybe about the quarter point of the page count, the POV changes from Jack to his son. And we have a little bit of a time skip where James, his son, grows up and is now a racer, and against his parents' wishes. And he also gets this prophecy about how he needs to keep racing, and they don't really understand that he's the son of the original person they were talking to. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed reading those scenes with the aliens, the interdimensional species, because it was really cool. Like, it was very sci-fi. It's the shit I love reading, and sci-fi. I love reading weird creatures and sort of seeing how they interact with humans, and how it just really gets my brain going and makes me excited for the eventual meeting with aliens that we'll have, because I firmly believe that aliens are real, even if they're just bacteria or something that we haven't even thought of. And this has a little bit, too, of a three-body problem feel as well, I just was thinking, because that book is that series is all about the meeting of humans and aliens. And I loved reading that book. And I'm not sure if Collin's read it. I haven't asked him. But I really enjoyed sort of those more apocalyptic and dread-filled scenes in this book. I don't know what it is about me. I just love that shit. But that's why Book of the New Sun's my favorite, because it just has this heavy air of not really dystopia, but like post-apocalyptic. And that's sort of what I'm writing with my own projects, is that kind of book. But I really enjoyed this book. This was just really fantastic. There's really cool technology as well, like the digitizer, which is sort of like a machine that turns you into pixels and sends you into like a computer simulation world. And it's really cool. That's sort of when our characters first meet the aliens, is sort of when they are sent through the digitizer and they overlap in terms of the dimensions. And that's really cool. I really love the ideas that Collin plays with in this book. It's really well realized. Obvious that he thought about everything. It was just really well put together. There's really nothing I disliked in this book, which is a shock for me, because when I read indie novels, there's always something that makes me roll my eyes or that I find cringy. And I think it's because these are like newer authors. It's not like J.R. Tolkien or George R. R. Martin, Gene Wolfe, Frank Herbert, Janie Wirtz, Robin Hobb, all these authors I'm used to reading. But Collin, I feel like he's at the same level as James S.A. Corey, who wrote The Expanse. And I told him that. He was very happy to hear that because, like, this was a really fantastic book, and I want more people to read it. I'll put a link below to where you can buy it on paperback or on ebook. I think there's a sale going on right now, so I'll definitely try to post this by tomorrow, Friday. That way, well, it'll be out when you see this, but as I'm talking now, I'm thinking out loud, like, oh, today's Thursday, I need to get this out by Friday. That way, more people have a chance to get the book before the sale ends. But this was just such a fantastic book. I read it in 2 days, very easy. So yeah, I'm trying to think anything else. I spoke very quickly, so I apologize for that, but I'm just really excited talking about this book. But yeah, this was fantastic. Let me know what you guys think of this review, and please let me know if you read this book. And I'll also put in Collin's places that you can see or contact him, and go to his channel. His channel's fantastic too. His Dune reviews were awesome. He goes out there to the desert among the sand dunes and does a review on Dune, which is really cool. I've never seen that before on YouTube, so that was just amazing. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the day.